Okay, we do the lab now. Topology today I had the two router 1 and router 2 connect to the switch, and I simulated VLAN 10 head user 1 and VLAN 20 head user 2. I use HSRP version 2 and have V2IB doc254 for each VLAN. And with topology, I need set up the sub-interface or router on a state for each VLAN on each router. And the configuration is not a complexity. Let me show you. The first, I need go to the main interface, main board, physical board, or the bearing board. In my case, 0/0, no such and no IP address because I don't need IP address on the bearing interface. So I know IP address and I just need the IP address on the sub interface. To create the sub interface, it's just simple. Need use the interface, follow the bearing interface name and follow the prefix for the sub interface. And use 10 because VLAN 10. This prefix in not much same with VLAN, but the best practice when should use the same number of VLAN because in case we troubleshoot, we can recognize the interface more easier. Okay, so I need to define the encapsulation .1q for VLAN 10. This is most correct, must match with VLAN ID and IP address 192.168 10 and 252 252 and certain mark 255 250 and now I need to define the HSRP version using the standby version 2 and now the standby group 10 VLAN 10 and follow the IP to define the V2 IP 10 and 254. Okay, and then I need to define the priority because VLAN 10 on router 1 is active, so let me join that 120. Okay, now I need to go to the router 2 and do the same different IP and different priority. Interface 0, no source, no IP address, and then interface 0 10 and cap 1q VLAN 10 IP address 192.168 10 253 5250 and standby version 2 and standby group 10 IP red to 10 254. Okay, and standby 10 priority 90 lower than router 1. Okay, so on the router 1 here we had the locked SIP state change from standby to active. Okay, and then we can check the status of XRP using the command show standby and brief, and this is router 2, so the state is standby and active is the IP address of router 1, the active router, and we have the V2 IP. Okay, we can check the detailed information using show standby on, and we can see the MAC address here. MAC address follow the format depending on the version we are using. We are using the version 2, so the last 3 digits is the hash of the group number. We had the group 10, so this is a value of 10 in the hash format. Okay, and we had the V2 address, V2 IP address. Okay, and hello timer and hold timer by default 3 seconds and 10 seconds. Okay, the same on the router 1. So standby prep and so standby on. Okay, because we did not define the Brimson, we disable, so Brimson is disable. Okay, the HSRP configuration symbol, right? So I need to do the more configuration for VLAN 20. The router 2 is active. Okay, same, right? 20 and encapsulation dot 1q VLAN 20 must same the VLAN ID. Okay, so IP address 192.168 I20 and 253 and standby standby version 2 and standby RUP 20 VLAN 20. So follow the IP address 192.168 I20 254. Okay, and standby 20. We had the priority active router I try 120. Okay, and then move to the router 1, same, right? Interface 0 20 and cap dot 1q 20 and IP OS 216 I20 252 255 255 255 250 and standby version 2 standby group 20 20 and IB A V2 IB 254 standby group 20 and priority bus router, so using priority 90. Okay, so now on router 2 we had the HSRP state change from standby to active, and on the router 1 we had the speed to standby. Okay, and we can show standby brief, and we had okay, router 1 is standby and had the active is the IP of router 2 253 standby local and have V2 IP. So standby brief on, we can check the MAC rate of the access IP group 20. This one, okay, we had the HSA of group 20 is 014, correct, right? And hello timer, hold timer, and V2 IP. Okay, we had one note here. You see, when I configure router XRP for VLAN 20, I configure router 1 for router 2 first, because if I configure router 1 first, even I set up the priority for the group 20 and is 90, router 1 always become the active router even we set up the router 2 on priority higher than router 1. This is the rule in the XRP. We had the first come first service, right? And even we set up the priority router 1 lower than router 2, router 1 will become the active router. So this is the reason why at the first time set up SRP, I chose router 2 active, so I need configure SRP on the router 2 first. Okay, this state will change if the router reboot, or we had the track, or we had the preemption. Because I disable preemption, I did not configure the preemption, right? So this is the reason why I configure the router 2 first. Okay, so now I will set up the track interface on the router 1 and router 2 for make sure when the failover happen, and the HSRP also trigger the elision trigger the failover between router 1 and router 2. Okay, on router 1, track is also simple. The command we can use track 10 lab interface. We had the 0 Ethernet 0/1, and we had the line protocol. Okay, so okay, we can is this enough? Okay, so we can go to the sub interface VLAN 10, and we define standby 10. Okay, we can use the track this one. Okay, track 10, and action is the decrease the priority. Now is 120. So when the track happen, the SRP will decrease the priority 40. So after decrease, the priority will lower than priority on router 2. Okay. Then I also using the track 20 for VLAN 20. Okay, interface intro 1 and lab protocol, and 0/0.20 and standby 20, track 20 and decrease 40. Okay. Okay, now let me open the user one. Before we test firewall, we will check the status at the normal state, and maybe I can pin the gateway. Let me show you the IP config. Okay. Okay, IP 10, right? And default gateway 10.254, and I must pin gateway success 192 set A 10.254. Okay, we lost the one bucket, right, for AB. Okay, and one we can pin also 252. Okay, 253 as well. Okay, how about user 2? MB config. Okay, 20.10. Okay, pin so A 20 254. Okay, and 252. Okay, and 253. Okay, success. Okay, now I had the track on the uplink interface, Z interface, and Z interface. Z interface track for VLAN 10. If just walk down, the active router will move to the router 2 for VLAN 10, and if this walk down, the active router will move from router 2 to router 1 for VLAN 20. Okay, let me set down the box 0/1 on router 1, and then I check. Okay, interface 0 1, and I set down. Okay, you see track stay from up to down, right? Okay, and my expectation, when I saw SRP status, the router 1 is standby router for VLAN 10. Okay, not yet, right? Okay, because the track, when the track happen, the router must enable the preemption on router on the standby router, the battery router. So the router, the standby router has the capability to take over the active run from the original active router. So because I did not using the preemption filter, I disable by default disable. So when I disable the uplink board, the favor not trigger, right? Okay, so I need enable the preemption on the 7510. This the mic router 2 can take over the active run when the track happen, and the track degree the priority on router 1. Okay, so I need go to the sub interface 0, select 0, 20, and 10, and standby 10, preemption enable. Okay, no need delay. Okay, brim immediately. Okay, and my version router 2 now is active router for VLAN 10. So standby brief. Not yet, right? Okay, let's show interface. So standby brief. Router 1 still had the priority 20 or 120. So run yes. Maybe I mistake something here. Okay, let me show run 10. Okay, maybe okay, this one. Okay. I put the wrong command. Okay, so this one is correct. Okay, I 0 select 0. Okay, let know this command under the sub interface for VLAN 20. Okay. Okay, you see now the router 1 change state to standby. Okay, so standby brief. Okay, now the priority for VLAN 10 is 80, right? 100. Subtract 40, 40, we had 80. So now router 1 is active router for VLAN 10. So let's pin. Okay, let me pin VLAN 10. Okay, I can ping, right? Okay, ping. Okay, maybe I don't have the route. So okay, correct. Okay, IP route 0000000 before route, right? 10 10 10 2. Okay, 2 2, correct. Okay, this one we route 0000000 10 10 assist. Okay, now I can bin user 1. So okay, cannot. Maybe I may take something on the ISP router, but it doesn't matter now, right? Okay, so how about the router 2? Router 2 for VLAN 20, but let me enable the box 0 select 1 on router 1. and my partition is track up because I enable, but the HSRP stays still on the router one, still keep is the standby busy. Okay, so standby rep because in the router 1 VLAN 20 rep 10 sorry VLAN 10 rep 10 I did not use the Brimson, so even the backup recovery the router still stay in the standby status busy. So this configuration have reduced the downtime, don't need the recovery to the original IT router. Okay, so what happen if using Brimson, router 1 will take over the IT router for VLAN 10. Okay, let me try ROS and standby 10 Brimson. Okay, okay, you see SRP state change from standby to active. Okay, correct, right? Okay, similar in the router 2. I can see the state for rep 10 from active to standby.